Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you today for some more lighter fare, I guess, more in the entertainment industry. It says, it's an article from Breitbart. When is this dated? June 26th. It says, parent company guts woke stain Turner classic movies, which, as far as I remember, used to be a great channel. I don't know what's happened to it recently. I just, again, my level of tolerance for entertainment, especially movies and TV, has diminished substantially in the last 5 or 6 years or so. So I didn't really pay a lot of attention to Turner Classic Movies, other than I remember, like, this is probably like at least a decade ago, where like my movie knowledge pre 1985, and I mean knowledge in terms of not necessarily what I know, but in terms of just viewing, having seen a movie pre 1985, goes down just exponentially the further back we go. So I used Turner Classic Movies, recorded, dozens of movies on there at a time. I used to have like 30 things on my DVR. Like, I need to watch that. I should watch that and that and that. So like, I'd say a good chunk of movies that I've seen pre 1985 are things that I saw on TCM. So let's see what this article has to say. What did they do now? This is by John Nolte. I just like to point that out because I'm a fan of his writing in particular, because he's got the right amount of snark on it. So let's see what it says. It says, Warner Brothers Discovery is in the process of financially gutting Turner Classic Movies, and I can't say that I care. It says that TCM that mattered died long ago. Let's see what happened here. It says, according to some reports, Warner Brothers / TCM staff from 90 people to 20. Oh, Jesus. It says, what we do know is that the 29-year-old cable channel has new leadership, and the staff cuts have been severe enough to alarm Steven Spielberg, Martin Scorsese, and Paul Thomas Anderson, going to be these three guys right here, into having an emergency meeting with Warner Brothers chief David Zaslav. The director trio said that they came out of the meeting heartened, but they also want to make movies with Zaslav, so no one knows the truth. In Hollywood, it's every man for himself. No one in that mercenary town puts principle ahead of status, and there's no higher status than a studio green light. So who knows what's happening, and who cares? Author says he doesn't care, not anymore. Says there was a time when I would have cared a great deal, but TCM is woke stained now. It's just not what it was. So I'm still waiting to see like what the actual problems are. It says this has nothing to do with me cutting the cable cord about 8 years ago. The fact that I no longer watch TCM is not the issue. This isn't personal. TCM was once good for the American culture. There they were, the greatest movies, movie stars, directors, screenwriters, and producers running 24/7 in about 100 million homes. Best of all of that equaled golden era art and talent was presented in the appropriate way, unedited, uncut, commercial-free, and introduced by a fan. God bless Robert Osborne. There was no equal. There never will be. Yeah, I've only when I was watching TCM, whoever the guy is that's on it, or at least was on it 10 years ago, I didn't know this about him until very recently, but apparently he is like a guest on the Young Turks, which, if you haven't heard of them, are an extremely far left political commentary channel on YouTube. So yeah, that kind of threw me off a little bit there, I guess you could say. So let's keep going with the article. It says, my affection for TCM was so great that for years I published a daily recommendation of what to watch on the network. What's more, I DVD recorded hundreds and hundreds of movies off of TCM. My wife and I still watch those. In fact, we're watching them on our current camping trip. What a thrill to come across a Robert Osborne introduction. What a gut punch to remember the purity that once defined TCM. So as you see, that's what made TCM unique and uniquely important. Its purity. TCM didn't just love movies. TCM loved art and understood that the only way to respect art, to give art the justice it deserved, was through purity. Regardless of the title, whether it was Casablanca or Faster Pussycat Kill Kill, TCM presented each title within its particular context as art. That was good for the culture, but that's gone now. TCM is no longer pure. Instead, TCM is broadcasting a censored version of a Best Picture Oscar winner, The French Connection, which I made a video on previously as well. I think it came out like last week, something like that. It says, who knows what else is being censored that we don't know about? The trust is gone. Yeah, apparently this character that Gene Hackman right here plays in the movie, I shouldn't say apparently, I've seen the movie. In fact, I own it on Blu-ray. He says a particular racial pejorative towards an African-American gentleman that the hero, you would think, wouldn't be saying, but again, different time. Things were different, so that's what he says. But according to people on the far left, simply because he says that word means he's the villain, I guess, which, whatever. So the article continues, says, instead, TCM is now telling viewers what to think about the Best Picture Oscar winner, which is Gone with the Wind. Oh, I can't wait for this. So instead, TCM is smearing certain classic films as problematic. It says censorship, telling people what to think, shaming, Attacking timeless art is problematic. There's a word for that, and the word is McCarthyism. So it's generally demanding purity is stupid and self-defeating, but not in the case of art. Without purity, art ceases to be art and instead becomes someone else's propaganda. Sure, I'm guilty of interpreting art. I talk about movies through my own worldview all the time. But interpreting art is my job, and it's my favorite part of this job. TCM is different. TCM is supposed to act as a museum, as a curator. Here's the art, they once said. Here's a story and history behind the art. From there, we took over. It was our job and pleasure to interpret what we saw through our own experience. Once you strip away the individual's right to interpret art, you deny them art's greatest pleasure, how it stays with us as we think over what we saw and what it meant. These complicated emotions are healthy for the culture and human spirit. Whether it's in our own lives or through a story we've been told, grappling with complicated emotions matures us, thickens our skin, and makes us wiser. He says, let me put it this way. Says, how long would you stare at the Mona Lisa after someone told you the reason behind her smile? Not long. There's no reason to stare. The mystery has been solved, and along with it, the pleasure that comes from savoring the mystery. How long would you stare at the Mona Lisa after after someone told you the woman in the painting was racist? It says the moment TCM started dictating interpretations, shaming, censoring, and labeling art, the network went from being presenters to propagandists, from curators to authoritarian scolds, and this approach is un-American, immoral, insulting, and off-putting. I would agree. And yeah, so I'm guessing, because even though it hasn't gone into something here, that what he's probably talking about with Gone with the Wind was just the fact that they probably have a disclaimer at the beginning, because, of course, Gone with the Wind, if you don't know anything about it, takes place during the Civil War, and I think you can guess where this is going, so... Let's get back to the article. It says, we once counted on TCM. We can't anymore. The only answer is to buy hard copies of your favorite films. Yes, I highly recommend buying physical media. I don't do digital in any form, even music. I have physical copies of everything. That's the way to go. It says, become your own museum. Curate your own collection. Do this before the woke Reich eliminates hard copies. Once everything goes digital, the woke Nazis have and will sneak into your collection and defile away. And if you don't think that's the goal, you haven't been paying attention. Yeah, they've done this already. I've seen people, I think the movie was Splash, the 1984 movie with Tom Hanks, and Daryl Hannah was the mermaid, where I think and again, it's been a long time since I've seen this, but I think I heard that people were saying that when Daryl Hannah's running back into the ocean at one point, like she's bare-assed on the actual movie, but on the censored version, like they digitize some pants onto her or something. So like that's the kind of stuff you're going to see happening. You're not even going to know it until you watch the movie. You're not going to get an update that says, hey, we changed something in here. It's just going to be like one day you're going to see the movie one way, and the next time you watch it, it's going to be different. And you're going to be like, wait, what? That's just what they're going to be able to do. It says Turner Classic Movies died years ago, and that's the shame, not what's happening today, to the husk of what once was. For those who think I'm being too hard on TCM, remember this. Within my world of right-of-center media, I'm a unicorn, a dead-ender, a traditional conservative and Christian who loves movies and who never wished ill on the movie industry. Until the woke Reich took over, until the fastest censoring and grooming began, I held on longer than most. Oliver Stone is the greatest director of his era. Jane Fonda is one of the greatest actresses in Hollywood history. Here are my 25 greatest left-wing movies of all time. And Steven Soderbergh's Shay is a masterpiece. I love the art. I'm a purist. I didn't leave TCM. TCM left me. Well, I don't know about this stuff right here necessarily. I'm probably not entirely qualified to give that opinion, especially I really haven't seen a lot of Jane Fonda stuff. I've seen a decent amount of Oliver Stone movies. I can't say I necessarily disagree with that, but we'll see. But anyway, what do you guys think about this? What do you think about... the censorship crap going on overall? What about TCM in its entirety? What do you think about that? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.